Hi everyone, welcome to Adharshila coding classes. In this video, today we are going to learn how to create a bill generator application. For this, I have created a new project, bill generator app. I have taken a screen and I'm going to keep the image background for this screen one as a picture. You can choose color as well. I'm going to select any one image. Now the image is coming properly on my screen. Next thing which I know I need to do here is I'll be taking a label on my screen. This label will help me in providing the information which type of application you are making. On the text of this label, I'm going to write stationery bill. As you can see, the text over here coming so small, I'm going to increase the font size to 25, keeping the font bold. I want to change the font type, so I'm taking it as monospace, and I feel it's looking nice. Height I'm not going to change as it will change according to the font size itself. For width, I'm going to keep it as fill parent so that it should be covering the whole area available. And to see this whole text inside the label in the center of the screen, I'm going to keep the text alignment as center. Next thing which I'm going to take is 3 checkboxes. These checkboxes will contain the item which we have bought and the price we have to pay. For checkbox number 1, I'm going to write the text here as pen. And for this one, I'm going to keep the amount as 50. Similarly, for checkbox 2, I'm going to keep the text as notebook. And I'm going to keep the amount as 120. And for the third text box, I'm going to write the text here as highlighter. And I'm keeping the value here as 100 rupees. Now, in this case, I have kept the values as 50, 120, 100. But if you want, you can add the rupees symbol as well. I'm also going to add that so it will look much better. Same thing I'm going to follow for notebook as well as for my highlighter. And lastly, for my highlighter. After this, I will be taking one more label on my screen, which is going to show us the actual total which we are going to get. Again, for the text of this label 2, I'm going to write total amount, which is right now equals to 0. Now again, if you notice the amount which is coming on my screen or the text inside this table is quite small. So to increase its size, I'm keeping the font size here as 18, keeping it a bit, font as bold here. And again, I'm keeping the width to fill parent and text alignment to center. Now, whatever will be the amount, we will be able to see that amount on the screen as soon as we select the checkboxes as per the required bill we want to generate. Lastly, I'm going to take 2 buttons here. First button is there to calculate. So every time you press on this button, the calculation will be starting. I'll write the text inside this button as calculation or calculate. It's your choice how you want to see the button. I'm going to change the background color of this button with the help of custom. Choose a color of your choice which you like the most. I'm going to take this blue color. Font I'm going to keep bold. Font size I'm going to keep 18 here. Font type will be monospace. And shape of this button I'm going to keep as rounded. And width I'm going to keep here as 45%. Okay, this looks nice, but here if you see, the calculate button is coming in the left side of the screen. I want to see it in the center. In this case, I'm going to take a layout here. That is the horizontal arrangement. You can choose any one of them. Keep it inside here and keep the horizontal arrangement width as fill parent and set the property align horizontal to center. Now in this case, you are able to notice that the button is coming in the center. Same thing I have to follow for the reset button. So I'm going to take one more button as reset. So if I need to change everything, I will be able to do it. Again, we have to write the text for this button, as well as I'm going to keep the font bold and font size will be 18. Font type I'm taking monospace again. Choose a color of your choice. I'm taking, let's say, color green. Shape of this button is again going to be rounded and width will be 45%. I feel they both look nice now. So we are done with the designing part of this application. Next thing which we have to do here is we have to take coding part. For that reason, I'm going towards the blocks area. Now inside the blocks area, we will be first generating a variable. A variable is a component which contain values and which can get changed later on. Creating a variable here, writing its name as total amount. And right now, because we have not selected any of the checkbox, so the amount right now is 0. So initially we are defining its value to 0. After this, we will be talking about each of the checkbox, that if we change the value or if we change the checkbox, if we are ticking it or unchecking it, then what should be happening. So I'll start with checkbox 1. I'm saying when checkbox 1 change, that means if I'm checking that checkbox or if I'm unchecking that checkbox, then what should happen? Now in this case, I'll be taking a if then else block. I am saying if my checkbox 1 is checked, so there is this block available. If this condition is true, I want to set the variable value here. Set global total amount. From mathematics, I'm going to take addition block. We will be adding the value of the first component which we have added as the list item. So it will be whatever is the amount right now we have in the total amount plus that number. So in this case, if you remember, we have taken 50, 120 and 100. So I'm going to follow the same thing here. I'll be taking 50 in this case. In case we are not doing the same thing, if we are unchecking the first checkbox, so the first condition is not true anymore. So we have to follow the second condition. In that case, instead of adding this amount, we are going to subtract this amount. So I'm going to take this subtraction block, take these two blocks inside it, and you can delete this one. Now we have to follow the same thing for other two checkboxes as well. So I'm going to just duplicate this one and we'll follow the same thing again. Change the checkbox here. Same thing for here. Now as we have taken 50, 120 and 100, so I'm going to follow the same thing. 50, 120 and in this case it should be 100 for the checkbox 3. Now, if you notice here, what is happening is, if you are checking the first checkbox, the amount of the first checkbox will get added. If you uncheck it, it will get subtracted. Similarly, if you're doing it for the second checkbox, same thing is applying for second checkbox and same thing is getting applied for the third checkbox. After completing this much, we have to do the coding for other two buttons which we have taken. First button was calculate button and second button we were having was the reset button. Now, in case you are calculating it, I'll be renaming these buttons so it will be easy for us to calculate or to check which button we are using. So I'm going to rename this button as calculate and this button as reset. Now go back to the blocks area, press on the button, calculate. Now what I want is, as soon as I press on the calculate button, my label which is the label 2 we have on the screen, should start showing the actual amount that we have in the total amount variable. So I'll take label 2, set its text to get global total amount. This will show us the total amount which we have to pay. Similarly, if I want to press on reset button, in that case, I'll duplicate this one. I will select reset. Now, if the value is resetted, in that case, we don't need these blocks. We are only going to set the value of this variable again to 0. So I'll take set global amount and the amount will be 0 back. Now, this is the code which we have created and this is the designer of my application. Now, let's see if it is working or not. In that case, we have to connect. So first I'll press on AI companion. We will scan this QR code and then we'll check if it's working or not.